I'm going to do something that probably wasn't on the program, and it'll only take a few minutes. Because I'm thinking now about a super self-motivated man who's here tonight, and there are many such super self-motivated people. But I'm thinking about a man that we've heard at our church a couple of times, and he's been on the radio. A man who some years ago here in New York City made $47 a month to support himself and his wife. He was a building superintendent. He got his light and utilities thrown in free, but after all, for a man and his wife, $47 a month isn't very much. He knows who I'm talking about, so I want him in the wings, and there's his pretty wife out there. I want her in the wings too. By and by, that man decided that he'd do something for himself, and so he started selling insurance. He began to study books on self-motivation, positive self-image psychology. Because, you know, again, the Bible says, study to show yourself approved. And by the way, I'm black enough to say this. If there's anything black folks need to do, they need to study. Black folks pray too much with their knees on the ground and their eyes shut. Now it's time now for them to open their eyes and study. Now, it's your business if you kneel down to pray. I don't do it anymore. Because I discovered that when you are down on your knees with your head between your legs and your eyes closed, that is a perfect position to get a kick in the behind. I know because I've got many of them. But this man began to study. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you can study your way out of poverty. Yes, you can. You can think your way out of poverty if you learn how to use your mind. And this man began to study how to use his mind, how to think positively instead of how to think poverty. You see, that's another thing, you know. If you want to talk about the system for a moment, the system will keep you right in it. It'll assign you a place and keep you in it. If you're black, you're automatically underprivileged. If you're black, well, we don't expect much more. We don't expect much out of you if you do those things that, that Muhammad Ali was saying. You know, this is a poor black kid. He's from the wrong side of the tracks. We don't expect any better out of him than to rape and to steal and to knock old ladies in the head and grab their pocketbooks. You're black. You're underprivileged, you know. Your daddy wasn't in the home. I say, damn all that nonsense. Let me get back on this man that studied his way out of poverty from making $47 a month. Started his own insurance agency, began to study everything he could get his hands on about how to use his mind, about how to think positively. He began writing to me and getting my success ideas. He began coming to every lecture at the church. We teach the business of living at our church uptown at Broadway at 175th Street, and this is a commercial for it. I'll be there tomorrow afternoon at 3. And it won't cost you anything to get in, but it will cost you something to get out. Back to this man, for example. This man started coming to every lecture, to every class in positive thinking, to my money conditioning meetings. And from making $47 a month in cash and room and utilities a few years ago, today he has his own insurance agency. He has offices at One World Trade Center. This year he will do $80 million worth of insurance business. His personal salary this year is in excess of $100,000. Give a big hand to Mr. and Mrs. Hayward Hodge. I think you ought to stand on that. I think you really ought to give him a big hand. This is a success story. Yes, sir. Mrs. Hodge, I'm going to let him talk in just a moment, but I'll never forget what you said a few weeks ago at our church. How did you say it was living on $47 a month?
It was hell.
You know, this is what I mean. You know, both heaven and hell are states of mind. And, you know, every one of us here tonight, somewhere or the other, you know, we have witnessed that you don't have to die to go to hell. That's why I say you don't even have to die to go to heaven. Well, most black folks don't know any other way. That's why I have come, that you might have life, and that more abundantly. And now I'm black enough to say that. These candidates for mayor couldn't say that because they need your vote. But most black folks, and I never said it that way before, but most black folks think you've got to die to go to heaven, and they're just dying to get there. And we know well you don't have to die to go to hell. When your rent is due and you don't have the money, that's hell. And this woman says living on $47 a month was hell. What is the name of your insurance agency? Because, you know, you being on television with us now, and we're going to put you in the magazine, you'll get some more letters.
Haywood Hodge Associates Limited.
And where are those offices again?
One World Trade Center.
Now that is... that is as prestigious as an address as you can have in New York. The tallest building. From the bottom of the heap. And of course, you know, those of you who are listening outside of New York, let me explain to you that being a super or a building superintendent is a glorified janitor if it's glorified at all. You made up your mind that you were going to study and think your way out of that. I know because you brought me some of those books that you've been studying, and you've been coming to our classes and so on. And is this really what you did? You sort of studied your way out of poverty?
Well, I looked at you, and you're the best at what you do. Muhammad Ali is the greatest at what he does, and I'm the greatest life insurance agent in the country.
Oh, wow. I believe you also have said that you are quite distinguished among the so-called black insurance agents in the United States. What is this honor that you gained through your insurance agency?
Well, back in 1968, I became the first black life insurance agent to attain the $1 Million Roundtable status in the state of New York throughout its history since 1840. And formerly working for another company, I became the top assistant manager throughout the United States after starting 488th in the nation. I must admit that my thinking has changed over the years tremendously from how I thought as a superintendent. And I owe a lot to my wife, a lot to the studies that I have made, and a lot to people like Muhammad Ali and Reverend Ike. Because I felt if they can do it, I can do it. And anyone out here in this audience, throughout the country, who will be seeing this taping at a later date, can do it also if they make up their mind to do it.
All right. Mrs. Hodge, before you go back to your seat, do you like the way you're living now any better than you did when your husband had you living on $47 a month, honey?
Honey, hush.
You know, a lot of people won't believe this story, but I have a group of people here today that I invited who knew me when. The accountant for those buildings that I worked at, who used to give me my check every month for $47 a month, is sitting out in the audience.
Where is he? Come here and tell us if that's the truth. Come and tell us. You know, because many times people say to me, what's your name, sir?
Don Rosenblatt.
You see, some people won't believe me, but they might believe the Jews or the white folks. And they say to me, that is lying, you know. And, you know, so many times people hear me have guests on with all these fantastic tales. Well, you wanted to be sure, didn't you? You brought the accountant. Is that a fact?
I'm a certified public accountant, and I'll certify to those numbers. He's telling the truth.
Why didn't you pay the man more money?
I was just the accountant. I was making less, but it wasn't my building. But Hayward's a great success story, and he's a great guy, and I'm still his accountant, and I'm still proud of him.
He's doing a lot better, huh?
Substantially better. A lot of zeros after the 87 now.
God bless you. I'm glad you could be here to witness to this, because many times, people say to me, well, Reverend Ike, I admire what you do even though we're not of the same religion. Anybody who believes in success is of my religion. Anybody who believes in making a whole lot of money belongs to my religion. Can you just say wonderful out there? Well, that's good. Now, I never had anybody pull an accountant on me before. I've had people consult their doctors and bring back statements, that they were better after we prayed for them and so on, but I never had anybody bring their accountant, certified public accountant. As a man thinks, so is he.
I listened to Muhammad Ali talking about the shape of the world, what shape it's in now. But to me, it's still the biggest, wonderful world we're going to have, especially in this country. When I look at all the individuals who fled the country because of the riots during the 60s and because of their own political beliefs, and yet I see recently in the papers that they're all coming back. Even though they're facing jail terms and troubles with the law, they're still coming back to good old USA. So it must be something right that we're doing here.
And it's probably one of the few places where you
can make a lot of money.
We bring these people before the cameras from time to time on our international telecast to encourage people, to let you know that no matter what your condition is, if you apply the laws of God, as Muhammad Ali called them, the laws of mind, as I may call them, the cosmic laws, if you obey those laws, the laws of positive self-image psychology, and believe in yourself and believe in the God in you and become motivated, you can be what you want to be, you can do what you want to do, and you can have what you want to have. God bless you, Brother Hayward Hodge and Mrs. Hodge. All right. Let's stand and give them another big hand. I think it's so wonderful. All right. God bless you. Don't sit down yet. I want you to, before you sit down 3 times, just shout the word success. Come on. Success! 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 All right. It doesn't matter whether you're a Jew or a Gentile. Don't sit down yet. Because, quite frankly, I have a lot of my very wonderful Jewish friends say to me when they meet me in public, Reverend Ike, we're not of the same religion, but I admire what you do. I said, what do you mean we're not of the same religion? If you like money, you're of my religion. And the thing about it, I'm not a hypocrite about money. Yes, I like money. Send me some. We're not going to take the collection tonight. We'll take it tomorrow at the church. 3 o'clock, Broadway 175th Street. If you believe in prosperity, we're of the same faith. If you believe in self-advancement, we're of the same faith. If you believe in making the most of the gifts and the talents which God Almighty has given you, we are of the same religion. And I won't argue over you whether you call, by what name you call God. Whether you call God Jehovah, Allah, Jesus, or Reverend Knight. But whatever you call God, whatever is divine to you, I say that is within you. And unless you find it in you, you'll never really find it at all. Once again, before you sit down, I'd like to have you say with me the word prosperity 3 times. Come on. Prosperity, prosperity, prosperity. You may be seated, and thank you very much.